All right, today is Friday, May 2nd. I'm here with Fatimata. We are getting ready to make the selections for track to see who is going to represent the New York City region at this year's Summer State Games. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so as you should have seen in the email that we sent out to coaches earlier this week, we did have 56 athlete requests for track and field, otherwise known as athletics. We received a total of 12 spots. So based on the criteria that we laid out to all the coaches in our preseason meeting, since we do not yet have any results for track and field, we're going to do entirely random draw to make the selections for those 12 spots. We requested that all coaches who requested spots to send in names of eligible athletes. Those eligibility criteria where they had to be listed on a roster that was submitted at the beginning of the season, and they must be either registered for this weekend's spring games out on Long Island or planning to register for Metro games by the end of the year. So we did receive team names or athlete names from these teams. 993Q did not submit any names. I believe that is because they are not actually planning to be able to compete at Metro games. But I know that they also wanted to focus on selection for other sports and didn't have availability crossover-wise. These other athletes that are marked in red here have been selected for other sports. We made our selections in order based on what we heard from you guys as coaches as to what your top priorities were. So for example, we knew that basketball was the top priority across almost all of our teams, so we made the draws for basketball team first. Cross Island Superstorms, their priority was swimming, which is why several of those athletes are already blocked out. So without further ado, these are the remaining athletes that have been submitted for track and field. I'm going to go ahead and copy that over along with their team names into our random wheel generator. All right, so everyone's names transferred over. Everyone's only listed in there one time. We're going to shuffle that up several times. These colors on the wheel mean nothing. They're just automatically generated by this wheelofnames.com. Just gonna shuffle. All right, I'm gonna make selections for 12 active athletes, and then we will also make selections for an additional 4 alternates. So those alternates will only go to state games in one of 2 situations. The first situation being that if we do get additional allocations, as I said before, there are a lot more spots requested in track and field than we actually got. So Fatimata and I and really the whole New York City team are always trying to maximize the number of spots that we can get. So anytime that spots do open up, right, as folks scratch around the state, we're always ready to try to snatch those up. So if New York City does get additional slots, we'll go to our alternates first. The second situation would be that if one of our own New York City athletes scratches, we'll go to our alternates. Early in the process, we will respect that process and respect this selection, and we're going to go through the alternates in order. So for example, if a Cross Island Superstorms athlete is an active athlete but has to scratch, and that first alternate is an athlete from Manhattan 212, Manhattan 212 athlete will be activated. As we get closer to state games and it becomes harder to activate new coaches or maneuver housing plans, we will activate alternates within a specific training club. Fatimata and I have not yet set that deadline, but when we send out timelines to all the training clubs, that will be listed. So that way, if you are a coach who has an alternate, you will know exactly what to expect for when you may or may not know, right? When you will know for sure whether that alternate will be activated and kind of what steps you would take. With that said, any coaches who have active alternates, when you know a scratch, if you find out about a scratch, the sooner you let us know, the sooner that we can let those alternates know as well. All right, spinning our wheel for our first active athlete. We have Matthew White from 177Q. Second active athlete. Tosef Ali from 177Q. All right. Third active athlete. Conrad from the Cross Island Superstorms. Christian Walford from the 177Q Panthers. Athlete number 5. Augustus Castellanos, 79M. Athlete number 6. Gael Santana, 79M. JDN Edwards, 177Q, 7. John Gow, Manhattan 212, that's 8 athletes. Azariah Henry, that's 9 athletes. Orne Green, 10 athletes. Randy Chiceza, sorry, it's 11 athletes. Our last active athlete, Angel Zapata, 79M. All right, so that is 12 active athletes. And then, like I said before, we are going to draw for 4 alternates. So our first alternate is Stephen Mendaburo. And if we need to, at a later point, draw additional alternates or additional active athletes, we will repeat this process just with the remaining folks. So our second alternate Jonas Ponce, 177Q. Adam Chin Alvarez. And our final alternate is Mark Huang from Cross Island Superstorms. All right. Thank you, track and field coaches.